Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before then, we kindly remind all participants to follow the conference rule. Please mute your microphone during presentation, use the Q&A session for question, and use your full name and institution on Zoom. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to National Seminar of Research Month 2025. Integrating innovation and collaboration to achieve the SDG. Institute of Research and Community Service Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur. This event is conducted in a hybrid format with honorable participants joining virtually from different places. This conference brings together academic, researcher, business professional, and practitioner to explore a pathway to a sustainable future with innovation and collaboration. My name is Isna Nugraha, as the MC for this international seminar. As representative of the committee, very grateful to be blessed with help and the opportunity to gather here and discuss various issues in the global trends in sustainable future. Highly distinguished Rector of Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, Profesor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Fauzi MMT IPU. Highly distinguished Vice Rector, Profesor Uis Nurul Hidayah, STMT PhD, Profesor Dr. Insinyur Sukenda MSc, Profesor Dr. Lukman Arif MSc, and Profesor Dr. Cici Sri Cahya. Highly distinguished Profesor Dr. Insinyur Rosida Piadarsini MP, Head of the Institute for Research and Community Service Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur. Our honorable keynote and panel speakers, Profesor Dr. Nur Sidamen, University Putra Malaysia, Silung Shu, National Central University Taiwan, Profesor Satomi Ogata, Kyushu International University Japan, and Professor Siva Romamurthy, Fellow Institute of Technology India. Honorable Head of the Quality Assurance and Learning Development Institute of Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, Honorable Deans of all faculties at Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, Honorable Heads of Technical Implementation Units or UPA at Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur. And last but not least, all distinguished guests, lecturers, and participants of International Seminar of Research Month 2025. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will start this session by inviting everyone to stand up for our national anthem, Indonesia Raya, then continue with National Defense March. Okay, thank you everyone. Please take your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue with a prayer. We kindly invite Dr. Fazlur Rahman, LCM Ahum, to lead the prayer.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished lecturers and guests, before we begin our program, let us take a moment to pray together. I will lead the prayer according to the Islamic tradition. And for those who are not Muslims, you are most welcome to pray in your own beliefs. May our gathering be blessed and fruitful. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وسلم ورضي الله عن كل صحابة رسول الله أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا شاكرين حمدا ناعمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافي مزيدا يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم وعظيم سلطانك اللهم يا ربنا إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار اللهم ربنا انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا علوما تنفعنا في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. O Allah, the Lord of the world, we gather here today in humility and gratitude for the countless blessings you have bestowed upon us. We thank you, Allah, for the gift of knowledge, the unity of hearts, the opportunity to participate in this 10th International Seminar of Research Man at UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. O Allah, the source of wisdom, please bless this seminar, its organizers, participants, and esteemed guests. Guide us with clarity of thoughts, sincerity of intention, and strength of collaboration. Please grant us the ability to integrate innovation with wisdom and to build meaningful partnership and with illuminate the path the world toward achieving sustainable development goals. O Allah, the sustainer of creation, please make this gathering a source of inspiration and enlightenment. May the knowledge we share today benefit not only to ourselves, but also humanity and the earth we inhabit. Please strengthen our resolve to protect the environment, to uplift the vulnerable, to foster peace, justice, and prosperity. Allah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, please bless our nation, Indonesia, and bless this institution to remain a beacon of excellence, producing leaders of wisdom and compassion who will contribute to a more harmonious and sustainable world. Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adhaban nar. Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you.
Okay, very much, Dr. Fazlur Rahman. Honorable guests, lecturers, and participants, the opening ceremony of this international seminar will begin with the committee report. We are pleased to invite Mr. Rizky Firdaus Setiawan, SPMP, Chairman of the Organizing Committee, to deliver his report. Please welcome Mr. Rizky Firdaus. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Honorable all Vice Rectors of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Honorable Head of LPPM UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Honorable all Heads of Institution at UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Honorable all Deans of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, and the last, dear all participants of International Seminar of Research Month 2025. It's with a great pleasure and gratitude that we gather here today for the 10th International Seminar of Research Month. On behalf of the organizing committee, I am proud to report on the successful execution of this conference, which focus on the theme of integrating innovation and collaboration to achieve the SDGs, a pathway to a sustainable future. This theme is chosen to highlight the urgent need for research, innovation, and multi-stakeholder partnership to tackle global challenges outlined in the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The conference aims to show that research is not just about creating new knowledge, but also about developing practical solutions Our goal for International Seminar of Research Month 2025 is to act as a catalyst for innovation and a bridge between academic research and real-world impact, helping to build a more sustainable and resilient global future. We are delighted to have a total of 309 participants, including 298 presenters and 11 participants from both Indonesia and other countries. The main seminar session were held online via Zoom meeting on September 24 until 25, 2025. All sessions will be held offline at the LPPM UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. In addition to our main theme, we have 9 sub-themes that will be explored in the session. Number 1, digital transformation and smart technology. Number 2, sustainable agriculture and food system. Number 3, renewable energy. Number 4, healthcare. Number 5, cybersecurity and data privacy. Number 6, cultural heritage and creative industry. Number 7, social justice and inclusive development. Number 8, legal innovation and reform. And the last, sustainable engineering, technology, and material. We are truly honored and immensely grateful to our distinguished speakers who have shared their valuable insight with us. Opening speech from Professor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Fauzi, MMT IPU, as a Rector UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Insinyur Rosida Priyadarsini, MP, as a Head of LPPM UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. And then speakers, Professor Satomi Ogata from Kyushu International University, Japan, Professor Dr. Norsidaman from Universitas Putra Malaya, Professor Si Lung Su from National Central University, Taiwan, and thus Professor Siva Ramamurthy from Vellore Institute of Technology, India. Through this seminar, we hope to build a scholarly forum for international experts, researchers, and academics to exchange knowledge and present cutting-edge research. We also aim to promote interdisciplinary collaboration to advance the Sustainable Development Goals. We believe this event will encourage the integration of innovative practice, sustainable infrastructure design, and collaborative strategies to address global challenges related to environmentally resilience and resource efficiency. Finally, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee, all our supporting institution, and the volunteer who have contributed to the success of this. While we have worked hard to ensure a seamless event, please accept our sincere apologies for any inconvenience you may have experienced. I hope you all have a very productive and motivating discussion. May this conference provide valuable insight and inspire new collaboration. Thank you, friends. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rizky Firdaus. Now, the opening speech by Director of Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur, Professor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Fauzi, MMT IPU, to give his speech and officially open this international conference. Please welcome Prof. Ahmad Fauzi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished international speaker, esteemed lecturer, researcher, student, practitioner, and all participants of the 10th International Seminar of Research Month. First, let us express of praise of gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the Almighty God, for His blessing and guidance that allow us to gather virtual today through the Zoom platform in a spirit of academic enthusiasm. Though separated by distance, technology enables us to connect exchange ideas, and collaborate effectively. Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished speaker, it is with great pleasure and honor that I welcome you to the International Seminar of Research Month 2025. The theme this year, Integrating Innovation and Collaboration to Achieve the SDGs, a Pathway to a Sustainable Future. This gathering serves as a vital platform for scholars, practitioners, and policymakers to come together, share insights, and collaboratively explore innovative solutions to some of the pressing challenges we face in our communities today. The implementation of the Sustainability Development Goal, SDGs, is crucial across various sectors of life. It is foster innovative approach that address pressing global challenges. By integrating diverse fields such as technology, health, social, law, and environmental science, we can develop effective strategies that not only enhance economic growth, but also promote that interdisciplinary collaboration can drive sustainability solutions tailored to community needs. Ultimately, the successful attainment of the SDGs will lead to improved quality of life for communities, empowering individuals to thrive while ensuring the health of our planet for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have with us esteemed keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Nursidaman from University Putra Malaysia, Professor Pen, Professor Shi Lu from National Central University Taiwan, and Professor Siva Ramamurthy from Vellore Institute of Technology, India, and Professor Dr. Rosida Priyadarshini from UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Your presence and expertise enrich this seminar, and we look forward to your invaluable contribution. During the seminar, we encourage all participants to engage actively, share ideas, and form connection. Together, we can inspire new ways to thinking and empower our communities to achieve the SDGs effectively. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to all who have contributed to organizing this event. Thank you, and I wish you all a fruitful and inspiring seminar. Wassalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Prof. Ahmad Fauzi. Ladies and gentlemen, in this opening ceremony of the International Seminar, it is our honor to have a keynote speech from the head of the Institute for Research and Community Service, UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Before we begin, allow me to share a summary of the curriculum vitae and the presentation title of our keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Insinyur Rosida Priyadarshini MP. Okay, current position, Head of the Research and Community Service Institute of Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur with educational background, Dr. Agriculture Science, Sriwijaya University, Master Degree Soil and Water Management, Soil Science, IPB University Indonesia. With research experience, respon Emilia Sonsifolia terhadap bioremediasi logam berat oleh Bacillus sp. Okay, it is now my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Insinyur Rosida Priyadarshini MP to present her keynote speech. Please welcome Professor Rosida Priyadarshini. The time is yours.
Thank you very much, the moderator, Isma Nugraha. Good morning, teman-teman. Good morning also the Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, all of the Vice Rector of UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, distinguished guests, and also all of our colleagues. It is truly honored to stand before you at the International Seminar of Research Month 2025. Now, allow me to express my gratitude to the organizers for bringing us together in this forum to exchange our knowledge and strengthen our collaboration. My keynote today is about synergizing innovation and partnerships, a pathway to achieving the 2030 agenda. Allow me to share my PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, I will share the reflection on how innovation and partnerships can serve the powerful pathways actually toward achieving the 2030 agenda for sustainable development for sustainable development. Now, together, let us explore how innovation and collaboration can bring transformation globally and in Indonesia. Sudah, sorry, sorry. Kenapa nggak muncul ya? Sorry, we started our screen first. Nggak muncul, Mas. Udah belum? Ya. Okay, sorry. Okay, I will repeat it that today we will talk about how we can synergizing innovation and partnership pathways to achieving 2030 agenda. Before we discuss about the innovation and collaboration, let us begin with a simple question. What exactly is the 2030 agenda? Ladies and gentlemen, the 2030 agenda for sustainable development actually is adopted in 2015. This is a UN global plan outlining 17 sustainable development goals to achieve a more sustainable future by 2030. These goals actually consist of five interrelated pillars. We call it the 5P principles. This consists of people and then prosperity, planet, peace, and also partnership. All of the principle is universal. This is an integrated framework to end poverty, protect the prosperity for all, balancing economic, social, and also environmental dimensions. The key principles actually include a commitment to leave no behind and to address interlinked challenges through a comprehensive approach. Gentlemen, actually, this is an interesting question. Actually, in this room, how many of you actually are familiar with the SDGs? I hope that all of us in this room know about the SDGs, but actually there is a few realize how deeply interconnected their five principles in our life. This is why we need to look at them more closely. Actually, this global 2030 agenda have already set the stage, but achieving it requires innovation in how we solve problems, and also we also needs the partnership to look at them how we work together. Talking about the 2030 agenda, so the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, we call it UNCTAD, has already identified 6 key transition pathways to accelerate progress toward the SDGs. These pathways actually include the policy reform and the community engagement, and then the innovation, and also public-private partnerships. And then here I want to pose a question to all of the audience, which is more important, top-down government reforms or maybe a bottom-up community engagement? But the truth is both are equally necessary. Only by combining structural challenges with local participation, we can generate the real impact. These pathways from UNCTAD actually remind us that policy reform alone is not enough, but it must be paired with the innovation and also with the partnership that mobilize communities, industries, and also the governments. There is among all these pathways, the innovation is the important things. One element consistently emerges as the common thread. So the innovation is important. Why the innovation is important? Because the innovation is not optional. It is the foundation of sustainable development. So the innovation is not only about the technology, but it is also about ways of thinking, new models of collaboration, and new solutions to persistent challenges. It will foster the collaboration and then promotes the sustainability. Without innovation, the 2030 agenda on paper. Through research and innovation, we create solutions that address urgent challenges. Transnational research partnerships enable us to share knowledge, and then also build capacity globally. They ensure that not only no country stands alone in this journey. So we need the collaboration. So what is the important thing is we know that innovation creates the knowledge, but partnerships are what allow that knowledge to be shared and applied across border for real impact. So innovation must directed wisely. We can imagine that if the next big technological breakthrough made in equally worse or harm environment, so would that be true progress? Of course, nothing. So that is why innovation must always link it to sustainability. Technology should help us connect people and then protect the planet and build inclusive societies. When guided in this way, so innovation becomes a driver of sustainability, inclusive future, and then environmentally responsible and also economically viable. By aligning innovation and technology with sustainability, and by doing it partnership, we ensure that SDGs progress is both inclusive and lasting. Innovation, we have already talked that innovation alone cannot stand. It must be supported and multiplied through partnerships. So partnership will allow us to pool resources and then share expertise and scale up solutions. Building partnerships require trust and shared vision and also long-term commitment. So academic institutions, governments, the private sector, and communities all have a role to play in co-creating solutions for actually is a glue of sustainable development. As Von Sanderbeek noted, effective partnership require trust, and set goals. So governments, industries, academia, and civil society must join forces. They have to partner. It is only through partnerships that we can amplify our impact and achieve results that none of us could accomplish alone. As I talking to you before, it shows that partnerships are not just, they are the mechanism that allows innovation to scale and deliver change. It is a backbone to all of the goals. So now we can see how is the Indonesia SDGs performance in 2025. So overall, we can see from these slides that Indonesia records a country score of 70.2, which places us at 77 from the 16 and 7 countries. So position is slightly above the regional average of 69.5. Since 2015, our score has improved by 7 points, showing that this is a steady progress, although challenges remain. So if we look at the radar chart in the center, we can see the Indonesia performance varies across the 17 SDGs. Some goals show encouraging progress, but while others still face serious obstacles. But interestingly, that Indonesian spillover score is quite high at 95.22. This measures how our domestic policies and consumptions affect other countries. For example, through trade, environmental impact, or supply chains. A high spillover score means that Indonesia policies are relatively sustainable in their external effect. So that is interesting, I think. But on the right side, the status of SDGs target reveals that around 1/3 of indicators are on track or achieved, while a significant portion reflects the limited progress, and some are even worsening. So we can see in the right side. This mix result highlight both success stories and also some areas are to be concerned. But finally, if we look at the dashboard below, the color code rows provide a snapshot of each SDGs. The below of the slides. For example, we see improvements in SDGs 3 and SDGs 4, the quality of education. The SDGs 3 is health and well-being, but there are persistent challenges in SDGs 2 related with zero hunger, and SDGs 13 related with the climate change, and also the SDGs 15 related. So while Indonesia is moving forward, the data remind us that progress is uneven. It calls for stronger innovation, deeper partnerships, and also targeted actions to ensure that no goal is left behind. This tells us that we need stronger strategy and partnerships to accelerate our performance and close gaps before 2030. To close this in terms of the technological transformation, Indonesia is still catching up. For instance, our R&D expenditure is just 0.08% of GDP compared to 1.3% in Malaysia and 2.18% in Singapore. This 2017. I didn't get the latest data. I'm so sorry with this. But from this data, we can see the patent application per million people also remain low. We have to enhancing our patents. So these numbers highlight gaps. Strategic investment and collaboration, Indonesia can move from being a consumer of technology to an active innovator. So, to close this gap, Indonesia must foster innovation in research and strengthen partnership with industry and also with governments to build technological capacity. So, to respond to these challenges, Indonesia has identified 5 pillars of technological transformation. We have to building strong innovation infrastructure and also institution, and then we have also to raising awareness of technology, and then we have to facilitating technology transfer and support. We have to ensuring access of to affordable plug, and we have to developing a tech-savvy workforce. So each of pillars require multi-stakeholder collaboration. The successful of technological transformation, it depends not only on the strategy but and people who implemented it. So, what do you think now? What is the most urgent for Indonesia? Is it infrastructure, or is it the workforce readiness, or maybe the institutional strength? So, we have to think about it. So, to make the pillars of the technology transformation become a reality, so we need a strong actors who can provide knowledge, and then who can provide the research, and also who can provide human resources. This is where the universities play a crucial role. So, as a center of innovation and a center of lifelong learning, universities connect research with practices and then prepare a skilled workforce, and also serve partners for government, industry, and communities. So in other words, universities are not just contributors, they are enablers of each of the 5 pillars. So I was talking about, so the universities are critical in this transformation. So the universities can support the SDGs 4 related with the quality of education, and then universities also can support the SDGs 5 related with equality, and also the universities can push the SDGs 17 related with the partnerships. So the universities must be a centers of research, innovation, and also the lifelong learning. The universities can prepare the adaptable human resources, and also able to thrive a fast-changing world by connecting with the communities, connecting with the industries, and also the governments, so the universities will become engines of sustainable progress. So the universities embody the synergy of innovation and partnership. They generate research, nurture human resources, and also connect knowledge with the society. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the participants of the international seminar, so as we move toward the 2030, so we must remember that innovation and partnership are not luxuries, they are necessities. For Indonesia, this means fostering research, strengthening the collaboration, and positioning ourselves as active contributors to global solutions. Together, let us synergize innovation and partnership to achieve a sustainable future for all. So let us remember, innovation provides the tools and partnership provide the glue. Together, they are the pathways that will carry us toward achieving. Thank you very much. I give it back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your keynote speech, Prof. Rosida. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue with the certificate awarding and photo session. We kindly invite Professor Dr. Insinyur Rosida Piadarsini, MP, to remain on stage as I will present the certificate on behalf of the committee. Please display the certificate. Share with Prof. Rosida. Please, Prof, on camera. Okay. We start in 1, 2, 3. And once again, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Rosida, for your keynote speech. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin panel session. In this international seminar, we also have 4 honorable speakers coming from different countries, which are Malaysia, Japan, Taiwan, and India. At this moment, I would like to introduce the moderator. We will lead this session. Our moderator is Ms. Rahmawati, SPA MSc from Faculty of Engineering and Science. Please, the operator, display the CV of Ms. Rahmawati. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, our moderator is Ms. Rahmawati, SPA MSc from Faculty of Engineering and Science with Education Bachelor Degree at IPB University, Indonesia, Department of Aquatic Product Technology with Master Degree at Wageningen University and Research, Netherlands in Food Safety with the specialization of Applied Food Safety and with course Supervision Management of Food Industry, Food Hygiene and Food Safety, Food Legislation and Analytical Chemistry, and Food Biotechnology. Please welcome Ms. Rahmawati. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much to Miss Ina for the time. Let me begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in the 10th International Seminar Research Month 2025 UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. In this main session, I will moderate our discussion. And before we start, I would like to give question. The first one is that this main session will be consisted of 2 sub-main sessions, the first and the second. In the first sub-main session, we will have one who is Professor Dr. Norsi Daman from University Putra Malaysia. And then for the second sub-main session, we already have 3 prominent speakers. Coming from Taiwan, We have Professor Silung Sung, and also the next speaker, we have Professor Satomi Ohgata from Kyushu International University, Japan, and we also have Professor Siva Ramamurthy from Vellore Institute of Technology, India. So before we continue to the first main session with Professor Dr. Norsida Mann, I would like to say hello to her. Okay, good morning, Professor Dr. Norsida. Okay, maybe still in the process in joining with us. So before we start the discussion or hearing the presentation from her, we would like to read her curriculum vitae. So as you can see in the picture or in the display of the Zoom meeting, the Professor Dr. Norsida Mann coming from the University Putra Malaysia, and previously she studied Bachelor of Agriculture System Engineering from Kagoshima University, Japan in 1990 until 1994. And then she continued her study in MSc in Agricultural Economics and Management in the same university, and also she pursued her PhD in Agricultural Economics and Management in the similar university, Kagoshima University in Japan. So I would like to say hello to Professor Norsida. Good morning, ma'am. How are you
Halo.
there?
Ya, Assalamualaikum
Waalaikumsalam.
and selamat pagi. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you there?
Yeah, it's okay. Wait, I want to adjust my sharing things.
All right.
Wait.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, our speaker already joined with us. It was a pleasure to have you, Ms. Norsidaman, in our international seminar. Thank you for joining with us. And after that, we're gonna hear the presentation from her regarding the topic that she would like to introduce to all of us. So, Professor Norsida, now the time is yours.
Okay, please wait. I thought my time is 9:20.
Okay, yeah.
Wait. I want to share the things.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see this?
Yes, it's already displayed in the Zoom.
Okay. So again, I'm Prof. Nosida from Department of Agribusiness and Bioresource Economics, Faculty of Agriculture, University Putra, Malaysia. Okay, thank you very much for inviting me, and hopefully we can discuss more on how we want agriculture sector to be a good sector to provide us a food security. Okay, the topic given to me is sustainable agribusiness transformation, how innovation and collaboration toward global food security. Okay, before we go further, um, oh, wait, before we go further, we need to know about the agriculture roles and importance. Why agriculture is so important to us? Okay, actually, agriculture is provide economic activity to us. Okay, through agriculture, many things, income, economy come better because the contribution of agriculture. Okay, actually, agriculture now is extend beyond farm. It's not only production, but it's also involved in supplying seed, fertilizer, processing, distributing, and exporting. So, agriculture agriculture actually create multiplier effect. It's give employment in logistic, processing, packaging, retail, and export services. So it's also provide employment. In Malaysia and Indonesia, agriculture still support millions of rural jobs. Globally, about 27% of workforce working in agriculture. So, in economy, agriculture contribute to GDP, okay, gross domestic product. Then agriculture also support the other industry. So agri-based industry like food processing, textile, bioenergy depend on it. So for example, Malaysian palm oil industry contribute over RM 100 billion annually to export. And Indonesia is the world largest palm oil producer. And the role of agriculture also in food security. Okay, agriculture ensure viability, accessibility, and affordability of food. Strong agriculture system also reduce dependence. It's also support nutrition security and give a resilient farming system to help mitigate and hunger and malnutrition during crisis. For example, rice farming in Southeast Asia is crucial. It feeds over half the world population. It's the most important agriculture roles for us. And then it's also give the livelihood because agriculture is a primary sources of income to rural communities. It's also strengthen community resilience. And also agriculture expanding opportunities in digital agriculture and agri-tech startup. For example, in Africa, smallholder farmers produce up to 80% of the continent food, supporting family incomes and education. However, beside the importance and the role of agriculture, agriculture sector facing with issues and problem. Top five emerging issues in agriculture today, for example, as I mentioned before, food security globally, food security situation in world is worrying. Number two, for example, fertilizer supply disruption because the war, inflation, climate change, farmable land. So there are many actually major problems in agriculture. For example, soil erosion, lack of credit facility, lack of proper agriculture research, pests and diseases, small and economic holding, soil erosion, and many. So, in this presentation, I would like to focus on food security. By 2050, the world will need to produce nearly 60% more food to feed 9.7 billion people. But agriculture facing with the climate change, resource scarcity, and aging farming population make this a global challenge. So how to have the solution? We try the best to suggest that modern technology is a way that supports sustainable practices and contribute to achieving the sustainable development goal for food security. So, what's the technology in agriculture? Tools like AI, IoT, drone, blockchain, robotic, and mobile apps is a tool that may benefit the agriculture sector. For example, in agriculture, precision farming, smart irrigation, digital marketplaces using this AI, IoT, and etc. So the technology will help farmers work smarter, increase efficiency, reduce waste, and make better decisions. Wait, okay, why we need to integrate between agriculture without agriculture technology is better. So we need to integrate both of these. The objective is to optimize input, boost yields and quality, reduce costs and losses, improve resilience, and create new opportunities for use in agriculture technology. For example, we can use precision farming using sensor, drone, and GPS in our agriculture sector. We can use IoT, AI, and big data analytic, blockchain, mobile apps. All this will help farmers, empowering smallholder to better in their agriculture. Okay, actually the topic is in under agribusiness. What is agribusiness? Agribusiness is combination from agriculture and business. Company or individuals run the farming, run the agrotourism, run the crop reserve, run the company logistics. So all the agriculture related activities can under call is agribusiness. So agribusiness can be defined as a set of economic activities including production, processing or industrialization, commercialization of agriculture and forestry product either for food and non-food purposes. Okay, however, like in agriculture, agribusiness also facing with the problem and challenges. So, agribusiness face significant problem including climate change, soil degradation, rising consumer demands, labor shortage, resilient and increasing scarce resources. So the challenges is involve market volatility, inadequate infrastructure, pests and diseases, regulatory changes, and the needs to adopt new technology to maintain productivity and sustainability. So we can have different section of the challenges, environmental and climate challenges, economic and market challenges, technological operational challenges, social and labor challenges, regulatory and policy challenges. There are many challenges that need to be faced by agriculture sector and agribusiness also. So, we try to use the technology to transform agribusiness. Is it okay or not? Is the process of embedding digital technologies into agriculture and agribusiness to make farming more efficient, productive, and sustainable while improving farmers' decision making. That's why we need to have technology and innovation in agriculture and agribusiness. Okay, how the technology innovation can improve agribusiness? Okay, increase efficiency through using of automation, IoT, and data analytic. From planting to harvesting, we try to use innovation and technology to optimize resource use, precision agriculture technique using GPS, sensor, and drone, enhance crop health and yields, improve sustainability, and also making supply chain transparent. For example, we can use the innovation technology like a blockchain, which offer better traceability of product from farm to fork, improving food safety and logistic. And this is explanation what is digital tool. It's a little bit detailed. For example, e-fishery in Indonesia, hopefully it's exists now. E-fishery in Indonesia not only help farmers but also integrate aquaculture supply chain, connecting feed suppliers, farmers, and buyers. Example more on AgriBazaar in India connects farmers with buyer via a digital marketplace. Okay, how about the data? The data like big data and analytic. For example, Malaysia's paddy monitoring system use satellite imagery and AI to predict harvest. And how about the smart technologies? IoT, smart irrigation, automation, and smart greenhouse. For example, in Indonesia, e-fishery use IoT to automate fish feeding, cutting costs and waste. Okay, actually, the technology and innovation can give us more opportunities and benefit if we are adopting it. Okay, for example, one increase yield with fewer inputs. That's we want because we want it to precise. For example, precision farming ensures seed, fertilizer, and pesticide are applied only where needed. This will reduce waste and cost while boosting productivity. For example, smart irrigation can save 30 to 40% of water while maintaining or even increasing yield. Number two, better decision making via real-time data. Farmers gain access to weather forecast, soil health data, pest alert, and market price instantly. For example, a farmer can decide the best time to plant and harvest based on satellite and climate data, and it's reducing losses. Number three is financial inclusion through digital payment. Mobile banking and e-wallet make transaction easier, especially for rural farmers. So farmers can access microloans, crop insurance, and subsidies. For example, in Kenya, M-Pesa enables smallholders to save, borrow, and receive payment securely. Number four is use attraction by modern agriculture. Make farming technology driven and innovative, appealing to younger generation. So, for example, youth-led startups in Malaysia, Indonesia are building application for farm management and online from farm to table businesses. And they are number five, inclusive growth, bridging the urban and rural divide. And then number six is market access and value addition. And number seven is supply chain efficiency. Using the digital logistic platform, it can reduce food waste, optimize transport, and cut costs. For example, cold chain logistic application improve delivery and quality. And export. Blockchain and certification application or apps help agribusiness meet EU and US sustainability standard. For example, Malaysia's palm oil certification integrated with digital system enhance transparency. And then entrepreneurship and startups, agribusiness startups create new income opportunity. All of this is using innovation and technology. Okay, we want agriculture sector and agribusiness using technology. Is it this technology or development is profitable to sustainability? Is it okay with the sustainable practices? So, we need to know what is sustainability. Okay, meeting student need without compromising future ability to meet this. We want to sustain the agriculture sector to the next generation. So, in farming, we need to reduce chemical use, conserve water, maintain soil health, protect biodiversity. So, the roles ensuring socially responsible and economically viable. So, to practice the sustainable agriculture, we need to use the technology, okay, and innovation. So, what's make it links to SDGs? Technologies, agriculture, and sustainability. All of this is related to SDG 1, 2, 6, 8, 9, 12, 13, 15, and 17. Okay, it's all important to sustainable development goal. Okay, there are many challenges and considerations. Okay, one is we want farmers to use the digital tools in their agriculture. However, their access is small. Okay, many small farmers lack access to the internet, smartphone, and electricity. This create inequality between large commercial farm and small farmers. Without digital transformation, local agribusiness may fall behind global competitors. For example, in Southeast Asia, rural areas often face weak connectivity, make adoption uneven. So number Two, for the challenges is high initial cost and lack of infrastructure. We want smart farming. However, smart farming is very expensive for smallholders. And then the infrastructure is still limited in many developing countries. Without subsidy also or partnership, technology adoption also remains slow. And then meeting international traceability, sustainability requirement can burden small exporters and small agribusiness struggling with financing, training, and digital adoption. The next challenges is data privacy and ownership issues. Farmers generate huge amount of data. Risk: who own and control this data? Farmers, government, or technology companies. Farmers may become dependent on corporation if their data is exploited for profit. And risk of large agribusiness firm controlling digital platform, marginalizing small is need for skill and training. Actually, digital tools require new knowledge that many farmers, especially older generation, may lack. Without training and continuous support, adoption may fail. For example, farmers may own application or sensors but not know how to interpret the data effectively. And so many things in challenges. So who needs to do an action? How? Okay, governments need to do, private sector, academia, youth, and farmers. They have their own function and they need to take action and strategy. For example, government need to play their backbone role because they must expand rural broadband, invest farmer training, provide subsidy to make technology affordable. Okay, the private company or private sector. The private sector must design solution that farmers can actually afford and use the technology. So that means simple application, apps, low-cost sensor, flexible payment model. This is important to help farmers to use or adopt the technology and innovation. How about the role of universities? Universities and research institutes should focus on innovation that are practical, sustainable, and farmers friendly. Use. Okay, young people are the bridge between tradition and innovation. So by embracing agriculture technology, they can start up, manage digital platform, or even provide drone services to farmers. Farmers themselves don't need to adopt everything at once, but the key is to start small. Use a weather application, test a one sensor, or join a digital marketplace. So step by step, they can see the benefit, reduce risk, build confidence with the technology. So collaborate with agribusiness partner to ensure quality, consistency, and market access. Okay, the conclusion is actually digital transformation drives smarter, okay, more efficient farming. Smarter farming lead to sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture is the pathway to achieving the SDGs, ensuring food security, protecting the planet, and improving livelihood for all. So the future of farming is not just in the field, but also in the cloud, in data, and in collaboration. So together we can cultivate a smarter and more sustainable world. So by that, thank you very much. I hope uh, I can use the time given to me.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Norsidaman, for your sharing session regarding how the sustainable agribusiness transformation conducted in Malaysia, and also you have delivered how to do it in another region as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move into the next agenda, which is the discussion about what has been delivered by Professor Norsida related to the sustainable agribusiness transformation, especially regarding the innovation and collaboration towards the global food security. So, if you would like to ask the questions directly to Professor Norsida, please raise your hand and then mentioning your name and also your institution. And if you would like to ask from the chat box, you can type the question and I will read it for you. Okay, so while we're waiting for the questions, Professor Norsida, I would like
Yep.
to ask maybe some several concerns regarding the point that you have been delivered before. So one of which is about the digital transformation. You mentioned that we can start by a little step to implement the digital transformation in the farmer. But what is our big concern is that not all the area where the farmers lives supported by the good internet access. So they are facing so many technical difficulties in using the digital application, for example. So what do you suggest for us to anticipate these problems so that they can still use the digital application?
Okay, thank you. Good question. As I mentioned before, we're facing the challenges with the connectivity, internet, while we support or suggest them to use the digital thing, which are using the internet. So this may be for the government role is they need to take an action or strategy in a long term. Okay, in a long money to provide to facilitate the connectivity of internet in rural areas or certain areas that have facing with connectivity is a government, and then maybe for the academia, for the company, they can find the innovation that make sure that technology not only depending on the internet connection. Maybe they can develop one thing, one technology or innovation which less use of the internet connectivity. It's not impossible but possible. So hopefully in the next 5 or 10 years, we can use the technology innovation without depending on that. And then we try to encourage the farmers, young farmers, to attract with the technology to use it, because we see that the automation mechanization was developed. Okay, last time we only use the human energy or animal energy, but after that mechanization revolution happened, so we use mechanization, and now we come at the digital age. So that digital age providing agriculture with many technologies. Next, maybe after the digital, they are, I don't know what kind of the technology will introduce after this. So everything of digital innovation or technology hopefully can benefit agriculture sector, especially small farmers.
All right, that's such a very insightful suggestion, Professor Norsida, because from this time now on, I think this is one of the a big idea that can be built by the young generation, how to create the digital tools without always internet access. So this is a very good idea that I think, yeah, we can also try to build the master plan and also try to implement in several areas in Indonesia or in Malaysia as well.
Yeah, there are questions in the chatting box.
Yeah.
Rosida, according to you, for rural area, technology is too expensive. Yes, it's understand. So how we want to help the small farmers with low income and also low everything. So we try to make sure they still practices sustainable farming. However, why not a small innovation including or involving in this? So actually, we can maintain two things. One is sustainable agriculture practices, one is technology adoption. And then Wahyu, long time no see, Prof. Okay, Wahyu. How effective are Malaysian agriculture policy in addressing gender disparity and supporting youth empowerment in agribusiness? Yeah, women in agriculture and youth in agriculture is very important. They are a key player whether we want them to use the technology in the conventional one. So actually in policy, in Malaysia policy, actually they are stated there. We will empower women, we want empower the youth. However, the implementation is the problem. Okay, maybe they left allocation money to strengthen this thing first. Okay, because women, like other farmers, they are important to Indonesia and also to the Malaysia, and also youth. Youth is very important because now it's aging. Farmers dominate our agriculture sector, so we need to replace them with the young and energetic farmers to attract working in agriculture with the high income using high or advanced technology or innovation. Is it I answer the question?
Okay, so
Yeah, back
yeah.
to Rahmawati.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor, for your explanation regarding the several questions that has been asked. And then we also have the question that will be delivered by our chairman.
Yeah.
I think I just saw him raise hand. Maybe he wants to. Yeah. Okay. Now we have the second participant that would like ask questions to you, Professor Norsida. We have Ibu Norizkia. Okay.
Rizkia, nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you, Prof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you're in good condition.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Prof, it's very insightful. Now I want to ask one question.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, which factors serve as the stronger drives of transformation change in global food system, collaboration or competition?
The most important thing is money, Rizkia. Money allocation and also the farmer's attitude to adopt the technology. Okay, while the collaboration is also important. Without collaboration, maybe the farmers still at their position, not develop, not shift, not move. So what the main thing is how they accept the technology, readiness. However, the government also, agriculture agency needs to learn many things, strategize how to make sure the farmers adopt the technology, the things, allocation money, technology, facility, infrastructures, whoever involved in agriculture need to help the farmers.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, so that's interesting questions from Ibu Nurizkia. So Professor that the farmers' attitude quite important to help the government to implement this solution. So do you have any some tips or tricks how we can ensure that this farmer will convince or assure that they can use the technology? They don't want to use any digital technology.
The first thing is penyuluhan, agriculture extension need to do their work.
Okay.
Okay, because farmers sometimes they want to use it, but they don't have any capability to do. Okay, so agriculture extension or penyuluhan itu must very skillful, must knowledgeable in agriculture technology, and then try to convince the farmers to use or adopt the technology. Okay, while at the same time, other agencies or other department need to help in terms of infrastructure. Okay, some of the farmers having a small size land, so it's not very compatible to Many parties need to help to make sure the agriculture or technology transformation happen in agriculture. Uh, uh, take a small action, okay? Small action first, okay? Don't give the reason, but everyone need to work.
Very
Back to Ramawati.
Yeah, and before we continue to the next questions, I think it's interested to note that in your presentation you mentioned about the blockchain concept. So this concept and has a very long process, I think.
Yes, yes.
And how can we introduce to the farmer? Do we have to start with what is the blockchain is, or do what kind of urgency that we would is it about the blockchain, or is it about the urgency, Professor?
Yeah, because the blockchain is the high tech, high advanced technology, while our farmers is still in, for example, the step one. The blockchain usage is step 20. So how to educate, how to the thing is make it them familiar with digital tool first. How to use the application, this first thing, and then we need to see the scale, the for example maybe the normal farmers maybe not use it, but try to convince the agriculture tech agropreneur to use the blockchain, the companies, the large or medium scale to that maybe next 10 years the blockchain maybe is a very easy technology to use. So that's time we need to show our farmers ready for it. Yeah, because we know that maybe now digital thing is very hard for somebody, some farmers, but next 10 years maybe it's okay. We look at the drone technology. Last time it's very not familiar and very unfamiliar to the farmers. However, now in Malaysia, they adopt it 100% for fertilizing and pesticide spraying, many things. So it's a good thing. So we need to wait. Okay? While waiting, we need to make sure transformation happen in agribusiness and in agriculture. Every of the blockchain, every of the innovation is good. However, we need to see the from the negative perspective too. So we need to have a solution on that.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Professor Norsida. And
Yes.
second participant, I would like to ask questions directly to you. We have Mr. Rizky.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for moderator. Good morning, Prof.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your excellent presentation on sustainable agribusiness transformation. The material is very relevant, especially for a country like Indonesia, where agribusiness is a vital part of the economy and a source of life for millions of people.
Yes.
In Indonesia, like many developing nations, the key challenges are often not just about production, but also about social and economic gaps.
Right.
We see this as issue like unique access to volatile market and the marginalization of smallholder farmer. How can we ensure that the push for digital transformation in agribusiness not only increases yield, but also use inequality and strengthens the position of small scale farmer in countries like Indonesia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, Indonesia is a very huge country. and the farmers also have a small, medium, and also large scale. I think to transform the technologies or using technologies is very difficult. However, why not the Indonesian plan the strategies to divide the size, divide the farmers and try to introduce the technology suit with their scale of the farming. Maybe, for example, they are not familiar. Small farmers is not so familiar with technology. So try to introduce to them the suitable innovation or technology. And while the big company have money, so introduce the technology is suitable with them. And then, for example, because last time when we studied about the technology transformation, it's only used by the big company. However, now current the small company also use it. It will become happen. Okay, bukan tidak boleh berlaku. Dia akan berlaku. It's tetap akan berlaku. So macam mana? Because the farmers one is attitude, and then the government's attitude too. Whether we want to invest the money to the smallholders to change their practices, to change their to increase their productivity or not. So money matters too, and then the policy and strategies too, and the attitude and acceptance of the farmers too. So the strategy and action need to particular on this. Focus smallholders, focus to small farmers, medium farmers, and also small farmers. And also, if you want to do the extension work, also divide the work, focusing on smallholders, focusing on medium, and also the big. The big will better to change. However, not impossible. The smallholders also use the technology and change too. You see, I'm answer your question. I'm lost too. Sorry, Rizky.
Thank you.
Mm.
Okay, so are there any feedback from Mr. Rizky? I think it's already done. Okay, so Professor, before we end this session, I think we still have the time to answer the question from the Department of Agrotechnology. So her question is, the use of technology-based agriculture for land monitoring requires the application of technology that can be modeled using aerial photography data, but most of these data are location specific. So how can we overcome these limitations of the location specific models?
This relating to precision farming, isn't it? Yeah. For land monitoring, actually, model are location specific. How can we overcome the limitation of location specific model? It's need to do with the technical things, isn't it? But the function, the what's the function of the technology now is not only this. Okay, so for example, we using the drone, okay, to mapping the land. Using for this, for location specific model. So they can use many things. So the technology is quite developing. So I think with the technology can overcome the limitation of location specific model. I cannot answer it well because it's not my area, but the function of the drone with their camera keeping changes. Okay, last time they just monitoring the land. However, now they can monitor, they can implement many things. I'm sure that will happen if we use the technology in aerial photography. That answer the question from Dina Hadi?
Okay, so Miss Dina, maybe you would like to add something?
Yeah, Dina, because now the drone, DJI, many things, they're not only focusing on the mapping only, but many things. They can identify the pests and diseases attraction, and then they can, for example, in aquaculture also, they can predict many things, can predict the what's in aquaculture, in marine. So it's very huge of aerial photography and drone to use in agriculture. Yeah.
All right, so I think that's thank you, Ms. Dina, and also Professor Norsida for your explanation regarding that has been asked in this session. So I think this is the end of the Q&A session from this main session, and we will also how this presentation can inspire all of us to continue develop the solution to implement the cultural. Okay, so as our appreciation, we would like to present you with the token of appreciation. And in this opportunity, we would like to present the certificate of appreciation for Professor Dr. Norsidaman from University Putra Malaysia. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give big applause for her, Professor Dr. Norsidaman, for her excellent presentation.
Very much.
Research Month.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we continue the next agenda, please give your best smile and best pose. We're gonna take several pictures to provide the documentation in this session. Okay, let me count in 1, 2, and 3. All right, once more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Professor Dr. Norsida, for joining with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry if there are anything that you not understand what I delivered to. Thank you very much.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And then if you would like to continue your agenda, you can leave this meeting or you can stand in this meeting as well. Yeah. Thank you so much and hope you in a pleasant day ahead. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Norsida. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we already done in the first main session with Professor Dr. Norsidaman. And then we still have prominent speakers that will be sharing with us regarding their expertises and also their experience in research activities. So in this second main session, we already have with us our prominent speaker. The first speaker is Professor Silung Su from National Central University, Taiwan. And also we have Professor Satomi Ogata from Kyushu International University, Japan. And we also have Professor Siva Ramarmurthy from Vellore Institute Technology, India. Okay, before we start, I would like to introduce our speakers. The first speaker is Professor to him. Good morning, Professor Su. How are you there? Can you hear us? All right. Professor?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's already clear. So how are you there,
Okay,
Professor Su?
very good, nice to see you all.
Okay, nice to see you in this interview for joining us in this online Zoom meeting. And in this session, we would like to say thank you for joining us. And before we start your session, I would like to introduce you to all the participants here. So this is the curriculum vitae of our second speaker, who is Professor Si Lung Soo, Department of Engineering, University, Taiwan. Previously, as you can see that Professor Su studied bachelor and master's degree in civil engineering. For the bachelor science in civil engineering, he got it from National Chongqing University, Taiwan, and then he continued the master's study in civil engineering, Ohio State University, USA, and for the PhD, he pursued it in civil engineering in the State University of New York at Buffalo, USA. So several research specialty from his expertise is testing of large-scale structures, seismic design of steel structures, and also dynamic behavior of steel structures. So I think that's more related to about the steel production in every implementation. So without further ado, let's hear the presentation from Professor Si Lung Soo. To the professor, the time is yours. Would you like
Thank
to
you.
share screen from you or from our side?
I can share with my slide.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Give me a minute to upload the file. I mean, how about you share with my slide over there?
Okay.
Because I cannot. Can you see?
All right. We would like to help you by sharing the presentation from our side. Wait a moment. Okay, so Professor Su, can you see the slide?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I probably like to share some a little bit hard engineering instead of the agriculture. So today I'd like to share with you some research which might be related to the sustainable concern. This topic is on the structural design to reduce steel consumption for a sustainable and safer infrastructure. The co-author is two of my students. One is Dr. Elsa, the other one is Mr. Alvin. They're also the lecturers in university in Indonesia. So you hear me clearly, right? Can you hear me clearly? Okay. So now we can see there are a lot of sustainable goals. So on the screen, we try our best to meet some of the goals. So based on the concerns, I would like to say, next page. Okay, our study will be something related to the reduction of the material, because we concern the consumption should be reduced to meet the sustainability. Okay. Okay, next. Okay. Now let's think about it. Where are we? We are Indonesia and Taiwan. We both in the ring of fire. So next, we meet challenges of earthquake frequently. As you can see on the screen, there is so many hazard potential in Taiwan. You can see the faults almost everywhere in the island. Next. This figure shows some of the serious damage in Taiwan during the Jeju earthquake in 1999. Next. Okay, next please. Okay, some of the earthquake in Tainan in a Meilong earthquake. Okay, next. Okay, also in Hualien earthquake. Next. Now, think about the natural hazard. How can we do to preserve the environment and to assure the safety of the society? So we think about the seismic design. Design of buildings should be able to prevent the collapse of the structure. Of course, to meet the goals, we need to allow some members to yield, and need to design something with sufficient strength and adequate stiffness and energy dissipation. Next, please. Okay. Now, when we talk about the concerns in the construction for safety and stability, we should think about, can the materials we use recyclable? Are they environmentally friendly? Okay. How about the resilience against the natural hazard, such as the earthquake? Also, we have to think about the economy and also the feasibility. Design should be something to minimize the materials consumption after the hazard. Okay, so we want to minimize the cost in the aftershock rehabilitation and the labor. Next, please. Now, in the commonly used structure for infrastructure, we usually use the moment frame and the brace frame, but you can see in either one, there is some concern. For example, how about the strength and stiffness concern in the moment frame? But how about the ductility reduction when we use the brace member in the structure? Next. So, next, okay. So we think, next one. We should try to design something which can be balanced in the concern about the strength, stiffness, also the ductility. Take one example in the brace frame. Although we can have the better strength and stiffness, however, the buckling, which is inevitable in the design during the earthquake, some concerns. Also, the high demand in the gusset plate design, and also the inadequate ductility to assure the safety during the earthquake application. Next. So our idea to develop some innovative design, such as the ductile bracing. With this selection, we can try to balance the concern in the ductility, strength, and stiffness as well. Next. So our strategies to develop the ductile brace design is to transform the brace axial force to the more stable bending mechanism. So together, I collaborate with my students from Indonesian universities, like Dr. Elsa and Mr. Arvin. We developed several designs, but here we want to share two of them for your info. On the left-hand side, we call this is a lever arm damper. On the right-hand side, we call this steel hook damper. The major concern is we try to minimize the use of steel. That is, after the earthquake, the damage will be concentrated on the energy dissipation on the two terms we just seen on the screen, and make it easy to repair, to rehabilitate the design. Next. So, okay, this shows the design scenario. If you can see the truss member together with one set of the lever arm damper. So if anything happen, this design, this damage will be limited to the damper only. Next. Okay. The detailed design is shown on the screen. Now with this composition, we can amplify the deformation on the energy dissipation device. As you can see, for the metal dampers, the energy dissipation magnitude is proportional to the magnitude of the deformation. So within the design, we use this combination, this innovative design, so that when we have a structural deformation, amplify and multiple distributed in the damper, so most energy can be dissipated in that area. Next. If you can see the ratio between the length of the brace and also the length of the damper, so that will give you a multiple times term of the amplification of the deformation. Next. Okay. So during the application of the loading, you can see the different magnitude of moment and the shear will be incurred on the damper. So to assure that the damper can function well during the process of the earthquake application, we have to make sure possess sufficient bending strength and the shear strength as well. So on the screen, you can see the equation that the amplification will be the ratio between the LD and the L. That means the brace length and the damper length, which is several times. Next. Okay. So with the amplified deformation, the energy dissipation will be amplified and also can be mobilized in the early loading stage. Therefore, before the major structure member, which is the column and beam, reach the yielding, we can have the damper working well to dissipate the energy. Next. Okay. So on the bottom one, you can see the demand of the moment and the shear. If you overlap these two requirements, then you can get the required damper profile for the effective energy dissipation. Next. Okay. So the yellow part, the yellow figure on the bottom, you can see for the right hand side, this is the lever arm mechanism. On the taper one, this one is the profile of the energy dissipation parts. So very effectively after the earthquake, if the energy dissipation plates already dissipate enough energy to and should be replaced, and you just disassemble this lever arm and the energy plate again in a very short time and go back to the normal function. Next. So to verify the effectiveness of the design, we propose a series of the experiment because all the designs should be and experimentally verified so that they can be really applied to the structure. So we label the damper by the length of the energy plate and also the thickness and also the fixed end. This is very easy composition. So I'm not going to the detail. Let's move to the next one. Okay, we have the experimental program here. Okay, on the left-hand side, you can see this is the laboratory of our department, which is the biggest one in the university in Taiwan for structural testing. For previous years, we have many students from Indonesia and from Vietnam as well to conduct tests in our laboratory. Go back to the issue of the collaboration. I think we welcome our scholars and your scholars and students to use our facility so that the sustainability can also be sustained. Okay. On the right hand side is the setup of the design. Okay. We have the loading protocol on the bottom of the figure. On the first part is the required by the FEMA, is the Federal Emergency Management Agency. They recommend such testing procedures. On the right hand side is the additional one we conduct to evaluate how resilient, how sustainable the design can be. So let's go to some of the results next. Okay, if you can see the deformation of the damper from the top in the undeformed state, going to the tension, elongation, or shortening, you can see the yielding was displayed on the both sides of the taper plate. This causes the uniform yielding, so which is very stable. Next. Okay. On the right hand side is the hysteretic loops. Okay, you can see the response is very symmetrical and very stable. Next. When you use different geometries of dampers, you can observe all of them exhibit very stable hysteretic behavior. And the yielding was displayed in early energy, the loading stage. That means this design damper can start function to display energy at the early stage. Okay, and the uniform yielding makes the material use very efficient. Next. Okay. So let's compare the performance on different levels. For example, the strength, stiffness, energy dissipation, and the viscous damping. Next. Okay. Strength, the damper shows a very stable increment when the displacement is increased. That means when the structure is subject to small or large earthquake, the strength can be increased to respond to the excitation. Next. Okay. The stiffness displayed here on the screen show that the stiffness degradation is very smooth and no sudden stiffness loss. Okay. So because this is the damper design, so we will allow the device to reach the yielding, and of course the stiffness will be reduced gradually. And this is a proof of the stability of the design. Next. Okay. Also, the energy accumulation is together with the increment of the displacement. Next. Okay. One more important viscous damping this is very important to the structural safety. We can see the damping stay very high magnitude. For example, in the 2% story drift, the damping could be 25 to 35%. And when we reach the very large deformation, which is 5% story drift, that can be reached to 40%. With the high viscous damping, we can have the better dynamic response control. Next. Okay. Together, we have to compare in the same time the strength of an structural energy, but they still need to sustain sufficient strength so that the structure can be safe. And from the screen, you can see that this objective is effectively achieved. Next. Now, another option we try to share with you is the so-called steel hook damper brace. And this is designed, developed on the collaboration between my student, Alvin. Next. Okay. We have developed, we have proposed the steel curve damper in about 2017. Okay, and on the screen you can see the stress distribution of the damper. It's very easy to bend. Participation, we concentrate in the center of the device. Okay, so we have proved this is efficient design. However, we want to further upgrade this design. So next one. So because the original one is the uniform section, so we use a tapered section, which is the shape look like a hook. So we call this a steel hook. Okay, next. This mechanism shows the deformation of the energy dissipation plate. So the yellow part is the energy dissipation plate. If the brace under the loading is shortened, then the two steel hook will deform. Is elongated. The damper also will be elongated. So through this elongation or shortening, the damper will develop different magnitude of the bending and shear. Next. Okay. So from the simulation of the final element, you can see the uniform yielding was displayed along the outer part of the damper. Okay, so on the bottom is the hysteretic responses. You can see within this loop, a large magnitude of energy will be dissipated. So you can see this damper, if the material is very ductile, then it can actually dissipate many cycles of the energy of loading. So we are quite confident about the design. However, still we need to make sure that this design will be reliable during the real application. So let's go to the next one. Okay. We have to test that one. So again, in the largest laboratory in Taiwan, we designed this setup for the members. Okay, so on the right hand side, you can compare the analytical result and the real test is quite compatible. Next. Okay. Of course, the design should be reliable under various combinations. We try to design the geometry under various conditions. That means the hook damper can be more like to a straight member or to a more curved one. So this is the variables of the spacements. Next. Okay. Again, we test the specimens in the laboratory, and the bottom one is the loading protocol. Next. Okay. Actually, the video, but we can skip that one. Next. Okay. So on the screen, you can see when different geometry of the damper were tested, basically the behavior are quite similar. Okay, that means the design can be easily controlled according to the architectural requirement. We can see the uniform yielding along the whole plate length was displayed, and the stress concentration on the plate was prevented, and the energy dissipation was actually enhanced. Next. Okay. So after the test, we disassemble the design. On the left-hand side, you can see the damage pattern. Okay, it's quite similar as we expected. Okay, next. So let's try to compare the hysteretic behavior. Again, very stable behavior was displayed. Of course, there is some different behavior in tension compression. This is based on the geometry characteristics. Next. Okay, let's check the strength. Okay, you can see the strength never go down. When the displacement is larger, the strengths respond with larger strengths. So this is a very reliable device. Of course, the strength enhancement can be related to the ratio between the horizontal and the vertical eccentricity. Next. Okay. Stiffness degradation during the inelastic load stage is quite stable. I mean, the stable means there is no sudden change, there is no sudden drop. Okay, we can allow the smooth degradation, but however not a sudden change. Next. Okay, the energy dissipation was stably accumulated. Okay, of course there is some difference in the magnitude of the energy because the strength is different. Okay, next. Okay, and performance must be evaluated based on the simultaneous development of the strength and energy. Always we have to guarantee that the strength is adequate, is sufficient when the magnitude of the energy is accumulated. So from the result, we can see the performance is closely related to the ratio between the eccentricity in the vertical and the horizontal direction. Okay, and this one will give the very simple analytical model. So engineer will be willing to use the design to the application. Next. Okay. So with the result and the explanation, I would like to conclude. When we design the damper, they can yield at very small deformation to protect the structure. And of course, with the effective amplification mechanism, the device can actually dissipate energy at a very efficient way. Okay, and the strength, stiffness, and energy dissipation was so that one give you the conclusion that the ductile brace is effective in the earthquake resistant design. And most importantly, I would say with this efficient design, we can have very easy replacement in the energy plate to minimize use of material so that we can achieve the sustainability. So with this conclusion, I will conclude the design the presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Structural designs to reduce the steel consumptions for a sustainable and safer infrastructure. So this is like to address the SDGs number 9 related to the infrastructure. Thank you, Professor Silungsu. But before we continue to the discussion, we would in this session, we already have with us Professor Satomi Ogata from Kyushu International University, Japan. Okay, before we start, I would like to say hello.
Hello.
Ohayo gozaimasu, sensei. How are you
Hi, konnichiwa. Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. So after this session, we're gonna continue the discussion. But before that, I would like to introduce you to all the participants here in this international. See in this Zoom meeting, the curriculum vitae of Professor Satomi Ogata as displayed in this Zoom meeting. She is one of the professors of the International Studies, Faculty of Contemporary Business, Kyushu International University. Previously, she studied master degree in Tokyo University of Foreign Studies in 1993, and then she continued her PhD degree in the University of Kitakyushu since 2006. And currently, research activities, one of which is under the grant of GSPS Kakenhi with the grant number of 22H03846 for the standardization of hard standards and so without further ado, let's hear the presentation, very insightful presentation from Professor Satomi Ogata. Professor, the time is yours.
Thank you. May I share my presentation PowerPoint?
All right, we would help you to share screen from our side. Please wait a moment.
Okay, from your side. Okay.
All right. Okay, so this will be assisted by our operator. Wait a moment. Professor Ogata, can you see this presentation?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, I can see you. Yeah. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur for inviting me to this international conference. My name is Satomi Ogata, and I specialize in Indonesian Islamic studies. And recently, my research has focused on halal practices. However, today I would like to shift from a specialized topic and speak more broadly about the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. In recent years, the principles of recycling, reusing, and reducing have become central to the SDGs. Yet I noticed that same increasingly strict halal standards in certain Muslim countries may intentionally conflict with these sustainability goals. However, rather than driving into this complex issue today, I would like to share a case study from Japan that offer us valuable lessons, I hope, for global sustainability efforts. I live in Kitakyushu, Japan, a sister city of Surabaya in Indonesia, where your university are located. Kitakyushu once faced severe pollution problems, but overcame them through citizen activism, government reform, and cooperative responsibility. Today, it's internationally recognized as an environmental model city and a leader in SDG implementation. So today, I would like to talk about the experience, and lastly, I would like to add its implications for Surabaya in Indonesia. Next slide, please. First, I'd like to give an overview of Kitakyushu and its experience in overcoming pollution. Next slide, please. Next, Kitakyushu City, known internationally as environmental city, model city, is located in the north of Kyushu, near to Korean Peninsula. This area is circled in red and in close to both Korea and China. Next, please. Before the merger in 1963, Kitakyushu City consisted of 5 cities. That's Yahata City, Kokura City, Wakamatsu City, Tobata City, and Moji City. Among these cities, Yawata or Yahata, where I currently live, is a city where Japan's first steel mill, the government run Yawata Steel Works, was built in 1901 and became the foundation for Japan's modernization after the Meiji era. The Yawata Steel Works is currently in operation as Nippon Steel. Next, please. Kyushu has many famous coal mines, and coal known as black diamonds was dug from the mountains and transported via waterways to the Yawata Steelworks, where it was used to make steel. Next, please. Kokura was also home to the largest weapon factory in Western Japan before, and the end of World War II. It was chosen as the second target for the atomic bombing after Hiroshima, not Nagasaki at first. On the day of atomic bombing, visibility was poor due to smoke above Kokura sky. So the target was shifted to Nagasaki, and Kokura and Yahata both were reduced to ashes by air raids. Next, please. During the post-war reconstruction period, Kitakyushu became one of Japan's leading industrial area in the 19th in particular suffered from serious pollution damage, including air and water pollution. This is a photo of the sky and bay. Next, please. During Japan's economic boom, rapid industrialization led to widespread pollution, becoming a major social issue. Factory soot causes a rise in childhood asthma, while toxic wastewater led to severe health problems. For major pollution-related diseases emerged. Minamata diseases in Kumamoto, Niigata Minamata disease, Yokkaichi asthma in Mie, and Itai disease in Toyama. Each caused serious illness and sparked national concern. Next, please. Japan experienced severe pollution during its rapid economic growth, resulting in 4 major pollution-related tragedies led to public movements, lawsuits, and eventually stronger environmental laws. This painful history shaped Japan's commitment to sustainability and citizen-led action. Next, please. Although Kitakyushu is not one of the 4 major pollution cases, it was once known for having the worst air pollution in Japan. Dokai Bay, located in northern Kitakyushu, was heavily contaminated by industrial wastewater and became known as the Sea of Death or Dead Sea from the 19th to 70s. Rainbow-colored smoke from factory chimneys symbolized modernization and regional pride. However, behind this image, residents suffered serious health and environmental impacts. Kitakyushu later overcame strong citizen-led movements. Next, please. The air pollution was so severe that children couldn't open classroom windows even in hot weather. At home, laundry hung outside would turn black, and forcing families to dry clothes indoors. Depending on the wind, factory soot would blow directly onto children, causing many. In response, mothers took action. Although their husbands worked in the factories, making it difficult to protest, the threat to their families' health pushed them to speak out and lead the anti-pollution movement. In the Tobata area, mothers invited experts to lead study sessions and carefully documented weather conditions, wind direction and strength, changes in their children's health and school absences. Their detailed records helped prove the direct link between factory. Its grassroots efforts is featured in the short film I Want Blue Sky or Aozora ga Hoshi in Japanese. If we have time, we can see it, but because of the time schedule, I cannot. Over time, movement gained momentum, prompting businesses and government agencies to strengthen regulations on factory emissions and wastewaters. Next, please. Hello. Next. This is women's activity to collect data and to push government, local government, and Japanese government to review the regulations. Hello? Hi, hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, this one. So with strong support from the citizen movement, businesses and local governments collaborated to restore the environment. Sludge was carefully removed from Dokai Bay and fish returned to what had once been called the Dead Sea. Blue skies also returned to Kitakyushu, making a powerful symbol of recovery and hope. And next, please. Next slide. Yes, Kitakyushu's success in overcoming pollution earned global recognition in 1990. It received the Global 500 Award from UNEP, and in 1992, it became the only Japanese city to win the United Nations Local Government Award at the Earth Summit. The city's collaborative environmental policies uniting residents, businesses, and government were further praised. In 2008, Kitakyushu was selected as an UN Environmental Model City. It has since promoted a carbon society, opening the Asian Low Carbon Center in 2010, which is located in back of our campus, and partnering with Asian countries to address issues like waste management, water and sewage system, and air pollution control. Kitakyushu was also designated in an environmental future city in 2011 and SDGs future city in 2018. Advancing renewable energy adoption and policy integration for sustainable development. Next, please. Also, Kitakyushu is an industrial city. It now hosts a cluster of recycling-related factories. Under Japanese law, recycling home appliances such as refrigerators, washing machines, TVs, and air conditioners requires a recycling fee, making it a viable business. Items like fluorescent bulbs, styrofoam trays, and milk cartons collected at supermarkets and community centers. Household waste is carefully sorted into food waste, plastics, cans, bottles, and paper. This area is known as Ecotown, and the Ecotown Center was established to showcase its initiatives. It attracts many international visitors who came to learn from Kitakyushu's advanced recycling systems and environmental technologies. Next, please. Yeah, Kitakyushu is actively engaged in international cooperations with cities such as, maybe one slide. This is an Ecotown's map, and so maybe next slide, please. Yeah, so Kitakyushu is actively engaged in international cooperations with cities such as Dalian in China, as well as countries in Southeast Asia and India. These efforts cover a wide range of fields, including waste management, recycling, water supply, and sewage systems, and measures to combat marine plastic pollution. The city also collaborates with the UN Environment Program to address marine waste issues in Southeast Asia. Kitakyushu is also home to Shabondama soap factory, known for its additive-free, environmentally friendly soap. The company produces eco-friendly fire extinguishing agent used to combat peat fires in Indonesia, gaining attention as a product aligned with SDG principles. This is a photo in Indonesia. Next slide, please. In this way, Kitakyushu is establishing itself as an international city committed to promoting the SDGs. by leveraging its experience in overcoming pollution and advancing environmental technologies. It aims to achieve a circular economy and zero waste. Next, please. Japan, next slide. Yes, Japan faces serious pollution problems in 1960s and 1970s, which led to a strong emphasis on environmental education. Children learn in school not to litter plastic waste or discard empty cans. It is also considered good manner to carry a portable ashtray for cigarettes, but instead of throwing them on the street. Lake Biwa near Kyoto was once polluted by synthetic detergents, harming its natural ecosystem. However, a public campaign promoting additive-free soap, such as Shabondama soap, which is safe for both the environment and human health, along with the construction of sewerage system by the local government, helped to restore the lake's water quality. Japan, a country with limited natural resources, has increasingly turned to renewable energy sources like solar and wind power, especially after the nuclear accident. However, the unregulated installation of solar panels has led to issues such as damage in landscape and disruptive sunlight reflections, prompting calls to review installation standards. Decarbonized society, it is essential not only to expand the use of renewable energy, but also to promote energy conservation and improve energy efficiency. To build a low-carbon society, next please, energy-saving measures are essential. One example is improving home insulation and air tightness using high-performance windows, walls, and doors enhance its heating and cooling efficiency. Reducing energy use. Replacing applications with energy-efficient models is also important. Devices like Energy Star certified air conditioners, refrigerators, and LED lightings are becoming more widespread. Additionally, smart meters and home energy management system enable real-time monitoring of energy usage, helping households manage power consumption more efficiently. Next, please. In the transportation sector, reducing car use and promoting public transit, cycling and walking helps cut energy consumption. Factories and offices use energy management system to optimize operations, while LED lighting is widely adopted in public spaces. Green buildings like rooftop and wall greening help lower indoor temperatures and reduce cooling needs. Air conditioners to 28 Celsius in summer and heaters to 20 Celsius. It is not vice versa. In winter, also saves energy. Campaigns like Cool Bees and Warm Bees encourage seasonal clothing adjustment to reduce reliance on heating and cooling. These everyday actions support effective energy conservation. And next is current applications for Surabaya, Indonesia. Surabaya signed a sister city agreement with Kyushu in 2012, building on years of environmental cooperation. The partnership began with the Asian Environmental Cooperation Cities Network in 1997 and expanded through projects like food waste composting in 2004. Around 2012 to 13, a pilot waste treatment project was launched by KAITA, JICA, Kitakyushu City, and Nishihara Shoji. The project aimed to improve waste sorting, collection, and recycling in Surabaya using Kitakyushu's expertise. My former student, Shiho Narita, led the local effort and was featured in media coverage. Now she became one of the director of this company. The initiative promotes technology transfer, education, and human resource development. Future plans include expanding recycling treatment, treating medical waste, using waste to energy systems with ongoing research and student exchange. Next, please. A recent video revealed tofu production in Surabaya using waste plastic as fuel. While this may seem cost-effective, low temperature burning of plastic can release harmful pollutions, including dioxins. Japan faced similar challenges in the past, leading to these lessons may help support improvements in Surabaya and as a city facing similar risks. In Surabaya, health risks from dioxins have been reported. One egg from chicken near the Tropodo levels 70 times higher than the European safety limits. This highlights the urgent need for safer waste management and stronger environmental safeguards. Public awareness is key to protecting health. Researchers and educators play a vital role in guiding informed action and fostering shared understanding within communities. Next, please. So this is summary and message. Kitakyushu's experience in overcoming pollution offers valuable lessons for today's environmental challenges and sustainable developments. Citizen-led movements plays a key role in driving, showing the power of public participation. The city's efforts in recycling, energy conservation, and renewable energies serve as a practical model for achieving the SDGs. These lessons facing issues like waste management and dioxins. Cross-border cooperation is vital, and city-to-city partnerships can accelerate SDG progress. Youth exchange and researchers outreach are essential to raising awareness. It's not just government citizen action. It's what truly shapes the future. You are the next generation of international cooperation leaders. Let's learn together and build a more sustainable world. thank you for your attention. My presentation is already finished, but I would like to share some photo if I still have 1 minute
Yeah.
time.
All right. And then
Can
the operator, could you stop?
can
Yeah.
I share my
Yeah, you
photo?
can.
Oh, but I was not allowed. I'm not allowed to share photo.
Okay, wait a moment, please.
Yeah.
Okay, that's already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, I would like to share some photo. This is Kitakyushu's. We had 30 students and 2 lecturers from Yogyakarta last month, August, and this is a factory sorting waste from household. So cans, bottles, and plastics are sorted. This is a activity, and also.
Yeah, that's very.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's very complex activity. I can see that various people join this program. Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Satomi Ogata, regarding your presentations entitled Japan's Overcoming of Pollution and Kitakyushu's SDG Strategies. And also you mentioning about the implication for our city, Surabaya, Indonesia. I think before we start the discussion, it's better for us to continue the next speaker, who is Professor Siva Ramamurthy from Vellore Institute Technology, India. Okay, I would like to say hello. Good morning, Professor Siva. Can you hear us?
Good morning. I hope I am audible.
All right. Yes, Professor Siva, we can hear you clearly. So in this session, I would like to introduce you to all the participants before you continue your presentation. So ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker is Professor Siva Ramamurthy from Vellore Institute of Technology, India. As you can see his curriculum vitae in this display, previously he studied Bachelor in Plant Science as well as the Master Science in the Madurai Kamaraj University, India. And then he continued the PhD studies in Plant Biotechnology, Bharathidasan University, India. Currently, he is a professor higher academic grade in Vellore Institute of Technology, University, India, and one of as plant pigments biotechnology, natural products, and also the conservation in biotechnology. In 2025, he is one of the visiting professor of the University of Poitiers in France. So without further ado, let's hear the presentation from Professor Siva Ramamurthy. Professor, the time is yours.
Thank you. So can I share the slide or the slides will be projected?
Okay. Which one do you prefer, Professor?
Can I share?
Yes, you can share screen.
Yeah, but it says post. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we will set for you to share the screen. Yeah.
Is the screen is visible now?
Yeah, that's already displayed in our Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it visible? The slide is visible?
Yeah, it's already visible.
Excellent.
Okay.
So once again, good morning to everyone. And indeed, it's a great pleasure to attend and deliver a lecture for the 10th ISRM program. And in fact, this time the topic is about SDG, a pathway to sustainable future. So regarding to that topic, in fact, I am working in pigments. Basically, this presentation sustainable production of pigments we are doing. That's what I'm going to discuss. The title of my lecture is Approach to Develop a Sustainable Source of Natural Pigments. So as we know that the global blueprint for balancing economic growth, social equality, and environmental protection, and so on. There are 17 goals were produced, and in fact, our focus mainly on SDG number 12, that is the sustainable consumption as well as sustainable production, and also to to mention about what you call zero hunger and responsible in consumption as well as production, and most importantly SDG 15, life on land. So when the human being want to survive, they require of food and other necessary items, but the product what we are getting is really economically viable, or the product is healthy to the consumer, or let's say like the product is environmentally sounds better or not. And like that, there are so many questions we are getting. We have to survive peacefully, and our neighbors should also live peacefully. The whole environmental or the ecosystem has to be lived happily so as to maintain the biodiversity. Growing demand for innovative or eco-friendly solutions with respect to food or cosmetics or nutraceutical industries is going on, but at the same time, we have to reduce the ecological footprint, pollution, global warming, and so on. So thus, there is a need for the sustainable and safer things. In fact, as I mentioned, I'm working on pigments for several years. In fact, now people using synthetic pigments for all aspects. I'm not going to give more detail about it. Whatever the picture you are seeing in the top as well as in the bottom is actually a synthetic pigment, and that causes a lot of damage to the human being and causing cancer as well as causing other sort of damage to the environment. And during the production of those synthetic dyes, the effluents were thrown to the river, sea, pond, and so on. So which also causing a lot of impact, especially during the disposal. As a result, there is a need for a sustainable production of the natural pigments, which is the environmental free. In this regard, I have already published a paper 10 years before about the colorants, the pigments that we are using for the food industry is really a health or health safety or not, or environmental safety or not, and how much we aware about that, and all I have explained in my lecture, in my publications earlier. So when coming to the pigments, it's basically the plants or the major sources of the pigments, and they producing because of several reasons, because photosynthesis, if it has to do, chlorophyll is necessary. Chlorophyll, as you know, is one of the important pigments. Not only that, even for their survival, in fact, the carotenoids, anthocyanins, and the other pigments considered as the photoprotectant, as well as it gives a signal for the biological system. And in addition to that, these sort of pigments being used for various purposes that include food, medicine, as well as industry. Now, there is a necessity to know about replacing a synthetic dye with the natural sources, let's say like, plant or algae. We have to concentrate a step towards a cleaner production and responsible consumption aligning with SDG 12. The most importantly, we have to demonstrate how innovation and collaboration can lead us to a greener, healthier, and more sustainable for future. Keep in mind, in fact, I have 2 case studies. In fact, how we can produce a sustainable sources of natural pigments from terrestrial, that is from the plant sources, as well as from the case 2 will be on the marine sources. Let me start with the terrestrial one, that is from the natural sources. In fact, plant producing a lot of products. One such product from the plant is what you call the pigments. And how we can sustainably produce the pigments. If you ask me, perhaps the tissue culture could be one of the best option. Why? Because if you want to grow the plants for extraction of the pigments or alkaloids and other thing, where you require a lot of land, so limiting the land can be one. And another thing, if you want to produce a particular molecule, a secondary metabolites from the plant sources, which is seasonal based. Say, for example, if some part like, flower is the part which producing means one has to wait until it produces flowers. Similarly, fruit is the part which producing pigments or alkaloids. One has to wait till the fruit has to ripen or to produce. But these challenges can be overcome when we are using tissue culture. I'm not going to give more detail about the tissue culture. I think many of you might have heard about that. So tissue culture is basically a technique when a cell has a totipotency that can able to produce a whole plant. And there are so many types of tissue culture methods are there, like organogenesis, somatic embryogenesis, and so on. I'm not going to again give more detail about it. As the term says, genesis means formation, organ means which organ, like a stem, root, or flower, whatever that we are planning. So that is what we are going to do under in vitro condition, under laboratory condition, under safer environment. We are producing that. And simply, and same way, the embryogenesis is the one where using the explant, we can produce the embryonic production of the new plant that can be generated through the somatic embryogenesis. Now, just want to tell one very great example that here what you are seeing in this slide is what you call saffron, a flower, which producing a beautiful pigment called crocin as well as crocetine. Here you can see the structure. I'm not going to discuss about the chemical structures and other thing. But one thing I want to tell you that which is a carotenoid pigment. Now, if you want to isolate this crocin or crocetine from the Crocus sativus, from the saffron, just for 20 gram, you require of 1 kilogram of dry Crocus sativus stigma. So only you need 1 kilogram of dry Crocus sativus stigma. That means you require of 110,000 to 170,000 flowers. That much of flower has to be produced so as to get just 20 grams of one pigment called crocetine. Not only that, it also requires of 400 hours of hand labor. But the same thing can be obtained by using a technique called plant cell culture. And as you can see here, the plant can produce the pigment from the callus itself. You need not to grow the plant until it produces the flower. You can achieve the pigments in the very early stage, or let's say like even in in the callus stage. In our lab, we have produced sustainable production of so important pigments as well as other medicinal alkaloids from our lab using this technique. We meet out the SDG 12. And this is the one plant called Gentiana kuro, which is a medicinally important, which producing alkaloids. And in fact, we have produced that particular alkaloid using the cell culture. So this is, by the way, one of the endemic to Himachal region, and also it is in the red data book. So when such species, the limitation is like very, very rare, maybe using the technique when we can do. And similarly, the medicinal, the important dye-yielding plant like a Waldenlandia umbellata, we produce a technique, the somatic embryogenesis and organogenesis from this plant, and of course that we published in Plant Cell Culture. Using the callus, we also extract the pigment and the metabolites. So here you can see that the Bixa is one plant. From that Bixa, we have produced the particular color. And same way, suspension culture also we can produce. Here you can see the anthraquinone productions from the Rubia cordifolia, both the callus as well as the suspension culture producing a beautiful orange-red color from the callus as well as the suspension culture. And similarly, with the culture also, it is possible to do that. And from our lab, we have produced enormous amount of adventitious roots from Gentiana kuro, or maybe Cathartica, or Waldenlandia umbellata, or Ruby butterfly, like that. We have almost 10 to 15 plants that we produce the adventitious root, which producing a huge amount of the pigment. When they want to extract, people will cut the tree, and because the root is the important part of the plant, if you cut the root, how the plants will grow. So this is a technique by which one can produce a sustainable production. And this is the paper that we published a long back in dye production, anthraquinone dye production using a root culture of Waldenlandia umbellata, like jasmonic acid, methyl jasmonate, salicylic acids, and so on. That produce a lot of the color, and also we give stress to the callus, and by which also we can produce huge amount of the pigments. So this is the paper to show that enhanced production of anthraquinone that we produce from gamma radiated cell culture from one of the important the dye-yielding plant called Rubia cordifolia. And this is the further studies about that. I'm not going to give more about the thing. So from this slides, you can understand that the terrestrial plants, you need not to grow, you need not to what you call cut, and for the sustainable production, we can use the tissue culture. The same way, we also establish a technique or a technology for production of pigments from microalgae. As you know, microalgae are the single-celled microscopic 100 micrometer, and India is one of the 17 mega diversity countries, and we have a lot of plant species as well as microalgal species, and this microalgae is considered as a green gold because this algae is known to therapeutic or pharmacological activity like anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, as well as neuroprotective property. So what we do from our lab, we take the algae, microalgae, and we are producing the pigment throughout the year, sustainable production that we can cause allergic to the human. It can also cause toxic to the human. And of course, it can also cause cancer, which is carcinogenic. And at the same time, the natural dyes, if you use, which is having easier disposal, non-toxicity, and of course, which is non-carcinogenicity. In fact, the previous speaker from Japan, Professor Satomi Ogata, she clearly mentioned about the pollution and how Japan overcome with those things. Most of the things is what you call the disposal of the debris or unwanted thing. For synthetic color, when they are producing, they are disposing, and which is actually mingling with the river or the drinking water, or let's say like a ocean, which causing the problem. So to overcome that, we are looking for the natural based pigments that can avoid some of the problems. And why pigments from marine environment? If you ask me, the sustainable production without seasonal variation. As I mentioned, plants are seasonal based. You have to wait for flower to produce. You have to wait for fruits to ripen and so on. But microalgae, it is not like that. Throughout the year, you can do. And cultivation time will be very, very less. And you doesn't require of huge land. You can reduce the land, which can be less than small lab space only required. And most of the microalgae has a wonderful the economic value, because it producing lot of molecules like lipids, proteins, carbohydrate, and in addition to that, it is also producing pigments. And pigments, when you say it has lots of pigments like carotenoids, phycobilins, carotenes, xanthophylls, and so on. So we published recently a paper, one of the pigments which is obtaining from the marine source to cure the breast cancer from our lab. And not only that, the market price of those microalgae is expected to be very, very high because of its major applications. If you see fucoxanthin, 1 kilogram is $40,000 to $80,000. Similarly, astaxanthin is $2,500 to $15,000, and lutein is $122,500. We focus on only 3 important pigments like fucoxanthin, lutein, and astaxanthin because of its food industry, cosmetic industry, and pharmaceutical industry. Not only that, in fact, these all pigments are FDA approved one. Astaxanthin, for example, the FDA approved as a supplementary because it is having a lot of degenerative and other therapeutic efficacy. So what we have done is, from our lab, we have taken a species called Isochrysis galbana. So this is one of the important microalgae. So this microalgae, in fact, we produce the scalar, and we start with the 20 ml, then 100 ml, then 250 ml, then we grow to 1.5 ml. From that, we have extracted the pigment. As you can see, using the column chromatography, we have extracted the necessary pigment. And this is the mobile phase that we use, like a hexane, acetone, and methanol. Then after that, we characterize with the FTIR. Then, of course, we have done the fucoxanthin conformation we have done using the HPLC, and HPLC shows that there is a production of the fucoxanthin. And similarly, the another pigment called lutein. So in lutein, which is also one of the commonly valuable carotenoid, and the lutein is known to use in cosmetics, pharmaceutical, as well as in nutraceutical one, because which has eye protection, neuro protection, and so on. And in fact, during the COVID time, doctor advised to take the zinc-based one. Zingovit is one common drug that they have prescribed. And if you see the medicine, the Zingovit, the lutein is the pigment which is already present there. And again, lutein production is seen to be also a very, very high demand because it has a multiple application. But generally, the lutein is obtaining from a plant species called Tagetes aerata. But the problem with this plant is that, it is a seasonal growth. So we have to wait till the flower should produce. This plant may be susceptible to the pest. And there are so many reasons you require of land, water, and also labor, all those things, resources which is necessary for that. So to overcome that, we use again the microalgae called Chlorella vulgaris, and we have Chlorella vulgaris is the one which is known to produce the lutein. And in fact, this is the comparison between the production of lutein with the plant as well as with the microalgae. As you can see from the microalgae, there is a lot of advantage. So in fact, using a land, you can produce 6 tons per hectare, but we can produce 70 to 150 tons per hectare annual dry mass productions. And lutein content, if you see from the plant, it will be more. It will be 14 mg per gram, while in the microalgae, it is 7.8 mg. Nevertheless, we can produce more or more. And the one which grows in the land will have more lutein esters, but in this case of microalgae, you won't get that. You will get free lutein. Most importantly, which is a season based, and here throughout the year you can able to produce. Again, from this Chlorella vulgaris, we have isolated the lutein, and we have confirmed with the various techniques like a UV spectrophotometer, FTIR, and of course HPLC also. We have confirmed that there is a presence of the lutein. And finally, we have concluded with HRMS one using using HRMS, we have proved that there is a presence of the lutein. And very recently, last year, we published in a phytomedicine about the important which is a neuroprotective potential and other application. The last one is about what you call the astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is considered as the king of carotenoids because of its multiple uses. It is known as the king of carotenoids. And as I mentioned, which also has huge applications starting from pharmaceutical to food and beverage, and also in cosmetics and skin cancer. And most importantly, it can also be used in aquaculture as well as animal field. So this particular one we get from Haemococcus lacustrris. So that is the one. From that we are working on it, and we are producing the huge amount of that. And similarly, there is another species called Koala strella, so which is another important microalgae. From that we can extract the pigments. And similarly, there is a Chromochloris, is a third species that also can able to produce a huge amount of the astaxanthin. So recently, again, we published with undergraduate student about the astaxanthin, where we can produce a versatile application, especially in nutraceuticals and cosmetics. So in fact, the conclusion of my study is that, or my lecture is that, innovation and collaboration are the essential drivers for achieving United Nations SDGs. And synthetic pigments can pose a health and environmental risk, while for an alternative, perhaps bio-based one can be the need of the hour. So to produce the sustainable production of these natural pigments, there are two ways we can produce. Maybe from the terrestrial plant, if you want to use, maybe plant cell culture can be used. As I have explained, we have produced n number of pigments like anthraquinones, indigo, bixin, and so on from the tissue culture techniques. And similarly, we can also use the microalgae for the production of pigments, because microalgae can produce which is also provide a renewable source, which is a fast growing and carbon sequestering source of carotenoids we can do. From our lab, we produce fucoxanthin, lutein, astaxanthin, and beta carotene using microalgae. So shift pigments that can reduce the ecological footprint, which can ensure the industrial demand to be met out. So this transition supports a cleaner productions, responsible consumption, and biodiversity conservation. Ultimately, integrating sustainable bioresources into the industries paves a clear pathway towards healthier, greener, and more resilient future. I would like to add the last point. Surabaya is a beautiful city where you have a lot of sea sources, marine sources. It's the time for our young generation to look for the microalgae to study for various productions. So with this word, I would like to thank once again the authorities for providing me the opportunity to deliver a talk, and special thanks to Dr. Rose. Thank you to everyone.
Okay, thank you so much to Professor Siva Ramamurthy from Vellore Institute of Technology for your presentation about the biotechnological approaches to develop the sustainable sources of natural pigments. So, ladies and gentlemen, into the discussion for this second main session. Previously, you already, all of us already heard about the insight from the Professor Silung Su from the National Central University Taiwan about the innovative structural designs to reduce the steel consumption for sustainable and safer infrastructure. And also for the second presentation, we already heard from the Professor Satomi Ogata from the Kyushu International University, Japan, about what is the overcoming pollution, their strategy to maintain this issue. And the last one, as you can see, that the biotechnological approaches to develop the natural pigments. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to directly discuss with our speakers, please raise your hand and then introduce yourself by mentioning your name. If you would not be able to do that, you can still also type your question in the chat box and I'd be happy to read it for you. All right, Professor, I think we already have several questions coming from the chat box. For the first questions, Ogata, and the questions coming from Mr. Ikhwarisan Devri. The first question is that how does the Kita Kyushu's SDG strategy demonstrate the integration of environmental, economic, and also the social dimensions of sustainability?
Thank you for your question. So the question is about Kitakyushu City's strategy to what?
To demonstrate the integration of three aspects.
Integration between
the environmental, economic, and also social dimensions.
Yeah, so Kitakyushu City have experience such as I mentioned in my presentation, so overcame the pollution problem. So Kitakyushu City is promoting its experience and want to sell its expertise or technology to overcome in developing countries, cities which have same problem now. I think it's enough, still unclear. Hello?
Yes.
Is it enough?
I think maybe from Mr. Ikhwan Devri would like to give some feedback.
No, it's enough, I think. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So for the second question from Mr. Ifwarisan Devi, what challenges that might Kitakyushu face in maintaining its role as a model city for sustainable development? Professor Ogata.
Challenge. Yeah, challenge. Yeah, maybe Japan has technology, but in this global age, yes, Japanese local governments staff and also politicians and not good at speaking English, so maybe promotion is still needed to be known, well known in global society. Maybe it's a challenge for
Yeah, so the main concern related to the
fields.
promotion.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, and then how about Mr. Ifwarisan Devi? Do you want to add some more feedback or that's all? Okay.
Yes, it's enough. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ifwarisan Devi, for the questions. And thank you, Professor Satomi. Then we would like to move into the next questions. Aimed to Professor Silung Su from Taiwan. And the first questions coming from Mr. Porntip Thongkam. I think he's from Thailand. The first question is, what are the biggest challenges in implementing innovative structural design that aim to reduce the steel consumption in infrastructure projects? Professor Su.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest challenge is to develop the design, but I think we already solved that one. And the next one would be how can we convince the engineers to adopt such design? Because in the laboratory and the real application, there need the proof to validate the design. So I think the experimental work, I mean the solid evidence to justify that the design is reliable is necessary. So I think the full-scale testing of the full-scale validation of the design is probably necessary, and maybe not all the design company or the university can do that. So I think we need to provide more proof on the design reliability. Okay, and third one, I think the challenge would be the encouragement of the policy maker or somebody to encourage the engineer to adopt such design, because when we have the new design, the innovative design, probably is not accredited by the design code. So we have to work with the next question, the policy makers, to include the reliable, innovative design into the design code. Yeah, I think with that we can promote the innovative design to reduce the consumption of the material. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Professor, for the explanation. For Mr. Porntip Thongkam, do you want to add some feedback? Okay, I think that's all. So Professor Silungso, I think we can move on into the next questions coming from the participant. To Ms. Himato Fariha, you can ask the question directly to Professor Silungso.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So there was a question about is any relationship between the soil stress and content of plant pigments. Of course, there is a lot of studies being carried out from our lab as well as from the other researchers throughout the globe. Stress, there are different type of stress. There is a term called eustress. Eustress is the one, by giving it that stress, there will be a good output when we are getting. So that way, like soil stress can also give more amount of the pigments, and of course there is a biotic and abiotic stress which is related to the pigment productions. And answering to the question is yes, we can produce certainly the huge amount of pigment. And there is another question to me about how can biotechnology provide more sustainable alternative to synthetic pigments in food, cosmetic, and textiles. Yes, that's what we are trying to overcome, because synthetic one can be less cost wise, it will be very cheaper, but environmental wise, which is causing a huge damage, which can cause a tremendous pollution to the environment as well as ecosystem and ecology. I mentioned like agrobacterium mediated G1, and as I say, like using the or plant tissue culture or the other technology by which we can produce the very huge amount of the pigment, whatever the industry is needed. And that is what we are doing, and several other big labs throughout the globe, which is trying to overcome to sort it out this issue, and so that we can have the safer environment. The second question to me is, how can microbial or plant-based system be strategically optimized to improve both the yield and stability of the pigment? Interesting question. Of course, apart from the the microalgae and plant-based, there is some microbial pigments is also playing a very, very important role. In fact, long back we produced a species called Serratia. Using a Serratia, we produce a pigment called prodigiocene from our lab. So that way, microbial pigments can also play a very, very important role. And in fact, some labs, they are using microbes as endophytes, as elicitors to produce more pigments with the production. So answering to the question, yes, it is possible. We can use in two ways: either use microbe as a pigment production, or use microbe as endophytes. Endo means within. So you infect the plants so that the plant undergo a stress by which it can produce the pigments.
Okay, thank you, Professor Siva, for your explanation regarding the questions asked in the chat Zoom. And then we move on into the next questions coming from Ms. Himatul Fariha. I think she would like to ask question directly to Professor Silungso.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Rahmawati, for the time. I'd like to address my question for Prof. Chu. It's nice to meet you virtually, Prof. Chu. And thank you for your interesting presentation about BRIS system, LAD and SHD. I have two questions. The first question is a little bit similar with the previous. In your view, what are the biggest challenges in applying these technologies, LAD and SHD, in the real construction project, especially in large-scale infrastructure? And my second question is, I know for a long time that your expertise is in seismic design of steel structure, right? And I'm curious about your future plan. Probably you can share with us research, and maybe in the future we can have collaboration. Thank you, Prof. Chu.
Okay. Okay. Go back to your first question. I think the first challenge is, of course, the technical part. We have to make sure that the design is reliable. And of course, this requires some validation in the real scale. Usually in the laboratory, probably we are doing some reduced scale. Okay. Although in our university, we try to do a large scale. But for the real application, you need a validation. So this requires some industrial experimental on that devices. The other one is since we are confident about the. However, to make it feasible, I think the price, the cost of the application should be affordable. You know, sometimes we have very good design, but if the cost is very high, actually people cannot afford to use that one. So for this design, it's simple. And for the if we have the material, I believe Indonesia or some other countries recently, we of course we can provide a good quality in steel. Okay, so I think the challenge is the affordability of the application, but I believe it won't be a very big challenge. Okay, the other question is related to research of the earthquake research. I believe. I mean, in Indonesia and Taiwan, we share the same challenge. We have a lot of natural hazard, not only in the seismic, not earthquake, also like a volcano, like some impact load, sediment. So in terms of the seismic research, I would believe the new system and use the more advanced material to replace what we have in earlier days, like 40, 50 years ago. Okay, so of course, in my field, I would suggest to use the steel structure to provide a more a safer system. Okay, and the design of the earthquake-resistant steel structure actually require the collaboration among the scholars and students. So as you know, we have many collaboration between our university and Indonesian university, including yourself. This is Chicha is one of our very good outstanding student there. So I think in the future we can work together to achieve a better, safer society. Or the other one is, for the collaboration is also important because I personally believe the physical validation is important for the innovative design, but not every university establish their own laboratory or equipment. We can share the research resource. So that's why we have students and scholars previously coming to our laboratory. Okay, so I think we can jointly, okay, promote the technology, and without having to establish facility every the research resource. That's what my comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the explanation, Professor Su. For Ms. Himato, do you want to add some feedback, maybe from your question?
Yeah, so thanks for the question. In fact, the question is there any relationship between the plant pigments with the soil enzymes activity? Yes, of course, there is a indirect relationship. The soil enzyme activity that influencing the breakdown of organic matter and nutrient availability, which in turn affects the plant pigments. Either high or low enzyme activity can influence the quantity of the pigments as well as other nutrients for the productions, especially like a chlorophyll. And in other cases, the stress can also create some of the the production of the photosynthetic pigments. So to answering the question, yes, there is a relationship between the enzymes, soil enzymes, and the pigment production.
Okay, thank you, Professor Siva, for the explanation. Right, I think this is already 11:30, and according to the schedule, I think this is the end of the International Seminars of Research Month. Please give big applause for all of us that already engaged in this such interactive discussion. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, before we end this main session, we from the committee this month would like to award it of the token of appreciation for all the speakers that already delivered their presentation regarding their expertise. And we would like to give the certificate of appreciation to the first speaker, who is Professor Silung Su from National Central University, Taiwan. Okay, so this is the certificate as you can see in the Zoom display. Thank you so much, Professor Silungsu, for your dedicated presentation. And I think we would like to take some picture of you and also the other participants as our documentation. Let me count from 3, 2, 1. Okay, once more, please give your best smile and best pose, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you so much, Professor Silungsu, for your attendance in this international seminar. And then the second token of appreciation will be presented for our Professor Satomi Ogata from the Kyushu International Bank. So this is the certificate for the Professor Satomi Ogata. Our certificate of appreciation for Professor Satomi Ogata. Thank you so much, Professor Ogata, for sharing with us regarding the Kita Kyushu SDG strategy. Okay, and we would like to also take a picture with you. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please give your big 2 and 3. Okay, maybe once more. Yeah. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you so much, Professor Satomi Ogata. And then we also would like to give the certificate of appreciation to our Professor Siva Ramawati from Felon Institute of Technology, India. Professor Siva, you still with us? Okay, so thank you so much, Professor, for your nice presentation. And we also would like to take a picture with you in this great opportunity. Let me count, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, and 3. Once more. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, thank you so much to our prominent speakers for joining and sharing very valuable insights to all of us from different perspectives across the countries in the world. And also thank you for engaging the very interactive discussion to our beloved participants. So I'm Rahmawati as moderator for this main session. Thank you so much for your participation. And then I will hands on the next agenda to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Rahmawati. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, may I kindly remind all participants that you are encouraged to fill in the attendance links to them shared by committee in the Zoom chat box. Please note that if you do not complete the attendance form, you will not be able to receive the certificate. Thank you for your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the closing session of today's international seminar. Before we close it, let us take picture to capture this memorable moment. I kindly ask everyone to be on camera and get ready. Okay, I will take a picture. Start on 1, 2, 3. Okay, and once again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. With this, the international seminar officially comes to end. On behalf of the committee, we sincerely all honorable speakers, guests, and all participants to your valuable contribution and active participation. We hope today's discussion will inspire future collaboration and innovation. Before I close today's international seminar, allow me to share a short pantun in Bahasa. Okay, I will start. Siang hari makan kuaci, makan bareng sama kekasih. Cukup sekian acara hari ini, saya ucapkan banyak terima kasih. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for our presenter, Please kindly note that the parallel session will begin at 1 p.m. this afternoon at the Institute of Research and Community Service Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur. In addition, presenters will also receive a seminar kit which can be picked up today before or after your presentation. See you again at the next International Seminar of Research Month. Thank you everyone and have a wonderful day.